The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
TBS, America's #1 independent television network, presents the following sports exclusive.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And check out every episode of the show at basicallysports.tumblr.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg, Mike.
and this is Andy, and you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
All righty, here we are.
Hello.
And for the first time in, we can't decide if it's been 7 or 8 years, but we brought him back just for the hell of it, because why not? McCarthy is joining us tonight as well to talk about the Bengals uniforms. So welcome, Sean.
Thanks for having me.
Again, after however long it's been. I tried to find out on the website, but there was just too many episodes to go through. So I don't, Zach got caught in traffic. So in California, imagine that, right? And I don't know where Mike is, but here we are. And we got, go ahead, Andy.
I'll say Mike he's usually like a minute or two late. Just kind of makes a fashionably late entrance. And Zach apparently getting to his new digs must have encountered a weird traffic thing. I don't really know what that situation is, but yeah. So I mean, it was a fairly noteworthy day. Started with, so the Bengals were supposed to release their uniforms at 9 a.m. I guess 9 a.m. like Eastern or something like that. And I think the NFL's UK page accidentally like posted the leak or the link hours early. So it was probably what 7:30 or well, I guess Central Time, pretty early in the damn morning of today, where we started seeing all the links to the new uniforms. And
really though, with uniform unveilings as they've been, especially in the last year or so, it's kind of amazing that they got this far. They made it to 7:30 this morning without it being leaked anywhere. Although I think we all had a pretty good idea of what they were going to look like, but
well, guess what? When was the? Sorry, go ahead, Sean.
An eBay link over the last, I think it was in like January. That kind of obviously now we know, but yeah, it showed a pretty good idea of what they were going to look like.
Yeah,
so there wasn't a ton of surprise today, but they put together a pretty cool video and kind of made up for that leak.
There's Mike.
Hello. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Zach is stuck in traffic and will be here eventually. We're just kind of talking about how the Bengals leak. It was the orange jersey that leaked a few months ago, right?
They all did, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Where the hell have I been?
The black one leaked first, if I remember correctly, and then the other two leaked like a few days later or something. But it was really quick. I remember that.
Now, were they exact, or was it kind of like, okay, they got it close? Because were they like fan jerseys, or were they the actual jerseys that leaked? I
think they were authentic. Like what the team released was actually pretty dead on.
Okay.
But the jersey that leaked was like a retail jersey, so
yeah.
it wasn't cut like a player, and then that, of course, sort of people look at that and then they blow it up, and it's like, this sucks. Like you're looking at a fan's jersey. It's not going to be the same on the actual team.
Yeah. For example, just on the jerseys that were leaked, I wasn't entirely sold on how the stripes were sitting across the shoulders, but on the actual unveiling, they look pretty nice because they're cut to go over pads.
Pull it up here so we can kind of.
Yeah, let's take a look at these.
So there's a couple. I mean, there's unfortunately a little bit of Nike speak, as always, involved in these. But what can you do? So, I mean, ultimately, the most controversial aspect was definitely this orange pant here. But I guess, and you can't see it at this angle, but the primary white pant, I guess, is just the black stripes. Is that correct? I want to say it's just black stripes.
I've seen it both ways, where I don't know if it was just because they had an idiot putting the mannequin together, but where the mannequin was wearing the black jersey with the orange striped pants, and in our world, that's just, oh my God. But it might have just been a mistake because I've seen it both ways, and so who knows?
Well, they claim that there's 9 different combinations here, which I think is sort of a misnomer. I don't think there'd be 9 combinations in the way that there would be if, let's say, instead of these white pants with the orange stripe, you had orange pants. Then that would be 9 true combinations. Like you're going to wear the white jersey with those orange striped pants. To me, that's not a combination. Like in the black jersey with the black jersey with the black pants. Sure. The black jersey with the white pants with the black stripes. Cool. But I don't think that those orange striped pants go with anything besides the orange jersey.
That's what I thought, because they made it feel like that was the only one it'd be used for because it kind of matches the thin stroke of the numbers on the orange uniform. And not that it looks any better. I mean, ideally, you would have just the white pants with the single white pants and only the single white pants. But a lot of the reaction that I saw online almost universally was people were disappointed that there weren't any orange pants. Like they wanted it.
Like the Browns if they did that, I think.
Well, that was like option B. You would either shit on the Bengals for not having the orange pants, or you would come out and say they look like the Browns.
Yeah.
But
I should just say that I actually love them on the whole. I think the whole thing is a successful look. I just have some minor nitpicks, but we can get into now or later. But
Well, I mean, given what the team was wearing, if I were a Bengals fan like you, I'd be doing backflips over this because, nitpicks aside, this is, I think, a huge improvement.
Absolutely. They really had nowhere to go but up because they just that last uniform set, and Sean will agree with this, they were just pretty terrible. Once in a while, if they were in the right game against the right team in the right circumstances and the right colors, they didn't look terrible. But man, oh man, it's too many things going on. They could have made a good set out of that, but just the side panels and the mismatched side, and it was a mess. And these are a huge upgrade over that, I think.
I remember being in sophomore year history class in 2004 when they released the last set, and I was watching it on Mr. Zodi's computer because he was a Bengals fan too. And we're watching, Chad Johnson in this like super cheesy like runway fashion show that they did, and all the players have been, and I was just furious. When you're furious and nobody around you cares.
Yeah, because I lived through the Black Jays rebrand. I know how that feels.
Yeah, so it makes you more upset because because no one seems to grasp.
No one understands.
Right. And Mr. Zodi was like, "Oh, those are Arena League uniforms. Those are awful." And it wasn't even anger. I was just sad because the uniforms that they were replacing are maybe top 5 uniform in NFL history, in my opinion. And I'm clearly biased, but those like 97 to 03 Bengals jerseys were just, in my opinion, some of the cleanest and sharpest and just a perfect encapsulation of everything you need in a football uniform. And also, still look sleek and cool, and the players wouldn't be embarrassed to wear them. And those 2004 uniforms, I truly never grew to like them, ever.
They were bad.
Here we are.
So finally, so that was 2004. Man, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but I guess it was.
I know, it's hard to believe.
Wow. So we had to put up with 17. Oh my God, that's terrible. Hey, Zach is here finally.
Yeah, hi. Sorry. San Juan Capistrano. Terrible freeway exit. Don't get off at Ortega Highway in the afternoon.
Duly noted.
Public service announcement here.
Yep.
But so just a few other details here. Just so this is in the collar. What is it? They call it collar flavor or something.
Collar effects.
Hanger
effect.
Right.
Yeah.
That's Paul Brown's signature on the collar. Fine.
Oh, is
whatever.
that the design of Paul Brown Stadium right there on the collar?
No, that's actually in the
number
in the
font.
ridge numbers.
Oh,
Is that what that refer?
Wait, what?
It's,
Yeah.
it's the
Right here.
Jaws of Husky Stadium. That they
the iconic jaws of Husky Stadium as seen on the Arkansas Razorbacks. Yeah, I remember those days.
Wait,
But-
wait. So his signature is somehow incorporated in the font?
No, it's in the it's on the collar.
No, I know that, but
the stadium design is somehow.
I
involved in the
read
numbers.
that and I just couldn't believe it. It's so basically you're saying your team is a combination of a big concrete and steel building and Bengal Tigers, which okay, fair enough, I suppose.
I'd honestly say the numbers are my least favorite aspect of these. I think it would have been great if they just went with block.
So
Like-
these are supposed to be why it's sharp, I guess.
Yeah, as the canopy kind of juts at a super sharp angle on the.
Well,
On the ends of
no, sorry.
it. No, yeah, I'm agreeing with you. The
No.
numbers, like, come on.
I do not grant the premise. I'm sorry. I just
No.
I won't.
I'm fine with teams wanting a proprietary number font. Everybody wants one. You got to get it to get your monies. I understand that, but like, don't bullshit us, please. Just like
one of the criticisms I'll actually indulge is people when the leaked jersey came out, people said, "Oh, it looks like the Bears."
yeah,
And the font kind of looks like the Bears font, but
Little
the old font with the drop shadow always looked like the Bears font with just a drop shadow. So that's just one of those things that, there's.
I remember for a while in Madden, the Bengals they messed the Bengals uniforms up and they gave them the Broncos font by accident, and I never really complained about it because it looked better.
I want to ask a question real quick. What I've heard some people say this. What would you think about the Bengals making the orange the primary jersey?
I'm sort of a Bengals purist, and I think throughout our uniform history, even going back to like 1968 when they had the arched Bengals word mark on the helmet, they've always been orange helmet, black jerseys, white pants. That was like the primary look. So just keeping that structure the same to me, I think is preferable. If they'd gone to orange jerseys full time, I probably would have gotten over it. But
See, I think I agree. I think the black over white, like the picture we're looking at now, the black over white is to me the best look of the bunch because it's just what I've known them as forever. It's that look.
it's classic Bengals, and you'll get some numbskulls, but Tigers are orange.
Right.
Which
Yeah, well,
understandable.
Lions aren't Honolulu blue, but we all seem to.
Or but then I would argue back: are tigers actually black with orange stripes? Makes you think.
If you look at like their bellies, they're kind of like white and they've been spray painted. So who knows?
Yeah,
it could be.
That logic is how we ended up with 17 years of the white side panels. So
it was my fault. All right, I understand.
Yeah,
God, 17 years.
Yeah,
it's one of those things.
Helmets, but
it's one of those things where, like, I would agree that the Bengals' best uniforms were probably the set they had just prior to the 04 set. Lee's look pretty nice as well, but I do want to go on record saying that, like, tiger stripes are very, very, like, the whole, like, we're going to make them look like tigers thing needs to be handled with a lot of restraint, because otherwise, well, you get the 04 set where you have some, idiot in marketing or, with a Full Sail University design degree who just decides, like, what if we had white side panels and that could be like the underbelly of a tiger? And then, it just ends up looking terrible.
Because any good predator wants to expose its underbelly.
Yeah.
On its sides.
Yeah. I mean, these jerseys top to bottom are a win just for the lack of those side panels.
Yeah.
Like, and because now you don't have to deal with the awkward side panel intersection at the belt loops, where the colors don't match or the stripes don't line up, and now it's just color blocking, so it works so perfectly. Are the Cardinals the only team left in the league with those 2000 side panels?
Yep.
Oh my God, they are drastically overdue.
Well, them and the Broncos.
Oh, okay, right.
Shit.
Because the Broncos are still running with the 90s set, right?
Yeah, the Broncos ushered in this whole dumb trend, and they're still keeping it. So.
I mean, I can't blame that. They've won what, 3 Super Bowls in those now? 2?
Yeah, they had three. Yes.
So, I mean, what do you want them to do? It's
go back
their
to
most successful look.
Go back to the Orange Crush look because it's better.
Or go with take the Color Rush helmet and go with the navy jersey and kind of do a updated version of the Orange Crush set. Anything but what they wear now, which I've hated since the day they came out. But yeah, Kyler Murray. I mean, I don't want to go too far off topic here, but Kyler Murray even came out and said, "Hey, we need new uniforms here in Arizona."
So the Cardinals needed uniforms from the day that they debuted them.
Yeah.
So, like that's
well, Kyler Murray came out and said that he wanted the Cardinals to go back to the uniforms with the Arizona flag on the sleeves.
A little too basic.
God ears, baby. That's what I'd love to see. That'd be awesome.
I think that's a little too basic. You need something.
No, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong.
Okay.
I went through earlier today. I spent a little while going through Facebook and Twitter and the Cincinnati Enquirer website and just gathering really horrible takes on
the voice of the people.
Yes, just the common man, not from our message board. Certainly, this is just the average Joe Bengal fan putting their comments and spin on the uniform design.
Put their bowl of sideline chili aside or skyline chili just to type in this comment.
Right.
Brace yourself, folks. We're about to hear from the civilians.
So here we go. I'll just kind of go down the list. Plain and boring. Not much creativity went into these. That's number one. I want a chrome helmet.
Oh my God.
Looks like my 9-year-old designed them.
Classic.
Why do teams have to put their name on the front of the jersey? Are people that dumb that they don't know who they're watching?
Yes. Sorry, but they are.
I mean, the Browns once put their name on their pants. So.
Yeah. It says, Alexa, what does last place in the AFC North look like?
Okay, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, some of these are okay. 6-11 has never looked this good.
Oh, they actually got the new math right there.
Oh, true. Good point.
Oh,
very well done.
Great catch.
Took away all the cool accents and details for a solid plain jersey.
Regression. All the cool. Okay.
Regression is the way of the bungle. Now this one's got some typos. I think view look terrible. Helmet look good. Everything else is trash. Looks like they came from wish.com. This one's one of my favorites. Turd juice. That one's just, I don't know.
I'm surprised there's more people that aren't running with the Tide sponsorship and saying something about like washing them improperly or anything along those lines.
No,
that's a bit too clever for this crowd.
Yeah, maybe.
Looks like practice jerseys. I'm sick of every team stripping away details and then saying they're going for a clean look.
Oh my God.
Trash, high school uniforms, poverty franchise. Need a helmet change or at least go metallic.
It's the same helmet.
They literally just remade the 90s jerseys. I got 2 more here.
Yeah, those were good.
They look like the New England.
True. Yeah, it's not true, but
they look like the New England Patriots.
What? What? In what? In what? I don't think there's a single point of connection between between them.
Well, other than they're both football teams, no.
McCarthy had a similar. He heard somebody say, "What did they say earlier?"
He said, "Why are we wearing Texans uniforms?" And I was like,
"What?
Wow!
Why is this not working?"
And my last one, which is my favorite, and it's clearly a typo. It says, "That's a swing and Amish."
Were they trying to do the Amish thing, or
no? I think it was a swing and a miss is what they're going for, but it just came out that's a swing and Amish.
Like, are they basic? Sure, but they're black and orange, and they have tiger stripes on the shoulders. What more do you really need?
Sorry, but if you really think that going to these from what they were wearing before is somehow taking things away, then you don't know what you're talking about. Simple as that.
By the way, I'm calling. I just want to interject for a moment and say that I'm calling swinging Amish for the glorious return of victory next year. So
you can call swing and Amish, and I'm going to call the swinging Amish.
That's nice. Grandiose minor league baseball team.
Swinging Amish.
Yeah.
Put them in like Lehigh Valley or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can deal with that. So McCarthy, what like when you saw these, did you have any immediate like fears as far as like was there anything that like made you feel sick or made you just elated? Like what was your biggest takeaways?
Well, first of all, like I was on my way to work and my wife texted me the link, and because I don't text and drive, I literally pulled my car over to watch the 90s. That's the sort of person you're dealing with. To watch the 90-second jersey reveal video.
We all would have done that. Are you kidding me? That's just the way most people are.
So, yeah, I'm watching the video, and it's just so far so good. I'm waiting for them to. We kind of saw the jerseys already. The white ones are sort of like the white tiger color rush, which I liked, so that's cool. And then I was just kind of waiting for a shot of the pants. I saw, the black and white pants, the black pants with the white, with the orange stripes, and I was good there. And, jersey ends, Joe Burrow comes out. That's cool. Ocho Cinco's there. I loved everything. I didn't see the detail of those orange striped pants until later. So right away, I'm giving it 12 out of 11. I'm hooting and hollering. Big fan. That was my initial reaction. And I must say, like, I just have like a curated Bengals Twitter account of mostly positive people, but I think the overwhelming response, at least coming across my feed and texting friends and stuff, was overwhelmingly positive. So, just for whatever it's worth.
Just looking at this is clearly from this image here is clearly from the whatever the unveiling or whatnot for the media to come photograph and all that. They clearly put they got all their like Christmas stuff and put it behind just the kind of, it's like, damn it, we need greenery. Somebody go raid the storage closet. It's like, sir, all this back there is a bunch of fucking Christmas like bunting and shit. Whatever, just stack it up.
So there are no orange pants, correct?
Correct. No.
There's two pairs of white pants.
Yeah. Can't do orange. That's just too. I mean, maybe an all orange, but boy, that would look pretty bad.
No, all orange head to toe. Like I don't. I mean, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I don't even like it when the Browns go with orange pants. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's comparisons. There's a lot of stuff about this being too close to the Bears, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's enough difference. I mean, like you see the 4 here, and it's got the little. It is shaped differently. Like this 4 here,
it's a little thinner too, isn't it? Overall, like
the Bears one definitely looks a little thinner, but it's close, and the serifs are a lot thicker, just by a hair. But I see what you mean, though, because it's got that kind of Arabic. It just has a little bit more flavor than the Bears does, honestly.
I'm going to say it again. If you mistake any of this for the Bears, then I've got no use for you. I'm sorry. I will allow for civilians not to know as much about the stuff as we do, but like the people that were saying, I don't even see what the difference is. It's like, you know what? You should just shut up because you just at this point.
Like the one that still grabs me is the Patriots one. Like,
yeah,
people are dumb. That's
like the striping, the colors, the helmet. Like nothing is the same.
The helmet.
McCarthy, have you ordered anything yet?
So yeah, I kind of gotten to this age where I'm starting to wear jerseys less often, and I don't know if that's sad or not or whatever, but I bought a Joe Burrow jersey last year on the old jerseys because we didn't know at the time, and I was so excited for Burrow Mania. And today I said, I don't know if I can buy another jersey, and then I just found myself pulling out my credit card and typing my information into the website. But I bought a Tyler Boyd black one because I'm a big fan of those black jerseys. They're super clean. He's got 2 digits, the 8 and the 3. I think that's a cool number. I haven't had a wide receiver in a while, so
Okay.
I guess I'm still a jersey guy. I'm gonna wear it.
Yeah, I get that sentiment. I bought more team polo shirts this year than ever previously imagined.
Exactly.
And when I'm scrolling the team websites, I'm like, oh, that quarter zip fleece hoodie looks nice.
Oh man! Oh no!
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I've actually got a lot of jerseys in the closet upstairs that I just don't wear anymore. And I've honestly thought about having. I know we have a thread on the boards that I forget what it's called, like the garage. So I thought about putting a lot of them up there because I just don't wear them. But I can't bring myself to part with them, so they just sit there because I don't really wear them. But I'm just like I can't do it. I can't get rid of all these. So that's
They're
where
fun to look at.
Yeah, I open the closet door and I go, oh look, there's a Cleveland Crusaders jersey, and I've got the Browns and a bunch of baseball jerseys, and I just can't bring myself to get rid of any of them.
I'm certainly not a wear jersey like out in public person anymore. Like I wear them to games, but I'm not going to wear it like out to the bar with my friends that night, like I might have in the old days. Now it's just like, nope. This is time for a tasteful a fleece jacket with a small logo above the corner pocket.
Exactly. Well, that's why I'm actually pretty excited for these jerseys, because the old ones, the only place you can wear it is a game. Otherwise, you look foolish. It feels like you're wearing like a superhero costume, like a superhero that's called like Tiger Claw or something. Like you just feel silly when you put it on. And these, it's like a little more understated. You feel like you're wearing an actual football jersey and not like a Tigger costume.
Well, that was kind of in the video the Bengals put out, whatever it was, last week, where they talked about the transition from the arched Bengals helmets to the tiger stripes and how the players felt simultaneously like cool that they had a new look, but also like we have to win in these or else we're going to look like assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they went to the Super Bowl the first year of the tiger stripes. 81. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So it was off to a hot start, but Chris Collinsworth on there was mentioning like, oh man, we got to be sure that we win in these or, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. It was just kind of an interesting
There's
take.
a guy that looks silly in a tiger stripe uniform. Yeah.
I actually met Archie Griffin when I was a kid, and a lot of people don't know this, but Archie Griffin was on that Bengals Super Bowl team. And I was like 7 years old. I was too young to see Archie Griffin play. So I just asked him about the Bengals, and he goes, well, I was on that Super Bowl team, and I was like, what's it like? What was it like playing in the Super Bowl? And he probably got like 2 carries because he, it was like his 7th year in the league at that point. He's kind of old. And he's like, well, we had to make the Super Bowl because our uniforms were so crazy.
Huh.
I don't quote him on me quoting him on that, because this is like a conversation I had 25 years ago. But he actually mentioned the uniforms when I just in my 2-minute interaction with him.
That's wild, Archie, because Pete Johnson was on that team too, and him and Archie were backfield mates at Ohio State. Right. Yeah, I met Pete
like it's
years
ago. Forget, if you look at those uniforms from '81, they're like by today's standards, they're tame, but like at the time, that was like the Oregon Ducks mixed with the Denver Broncos. Like that was the craziest thing anyone had ever seen.
Yep.
Yeah, Archie Griffin had 1 carry in that game and muffed a punt.
Oh.
Sean, have you had a chance to meet the great Ken Anderson? I'm just curious.
Actually, I have. He does a charity for special needs kids and kids with Down syndrome. My wife's cousin has Down syndrome, and her uncle is big into this Ken Anderson Foundation. So, I met him at an event a couple years ago. So, to be honest, yes, I have met Ken Anderson.
Oh, I was just trying to rib you a little bit about the incited argument that apparently the great debate of our time. Apparently,
I know.
Yeah, well, I was going to say now we can have an hour-long discussion on whether or not he's Hall of Fame worthy or not.
I said it last week. I'll say it again. I think he is. I think he's a Hall of Famer. Based on other people that are in, I think you got to put Ken Anderson in there. Sorry.
I mean, that's my only argument and people go, well, he's not famous. And I was like, maybe he's not famous because he's not in the Hall of Fame. Did you ever think about that? Like, it goes both ways.
Good argument. Yeah, he was a great quarterback. I couldn't think of anyone that was a good comparison to today or like this era to him. Like a Hall of Fame guy that just never had the breaks. I mean, he did play in one Super Bowl, but I think I can't come up with one. But he was really good. I know it. I've watched him play twice a year for as long as I can remember. So I know he's a Hall of Famer. I can't prove it. One of those things. I know it's true, but I can't prove it.
My whole argument, it's like Sonny Jurgensen is in the Hall of Fame. Like I don't.
Oh shit, King Anderson's better than him.
Yeah, I never looked at Sonny Jurgensen's stats, but like on the breakdown of like Pro Football Focus WAR, like wins above replacement, he's the highest guy on there at like a like a skill position who's not in the Hall of Fame, and he's ahead of guys who are. So it's just one of those things where you're never going to be able to convince somebody who's entrenched, but I think there's a pretty solid.
Sonny Jurgensen doesn't even sound like a real person. It sounds like a made up name.
He played for the 32s back in the 60s and into the
Sonny Jurgensen sounds like one of those obscure names in a baseball almanac from like pre World War I.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say if Sonny Jurgensen played in the NFL, he played in like the early days where they were all 25-year-olds who looked 50 wearing thick sweaters.
Well, Sonny Jurgensen, he was pretty much at the end of his career by the time I was able to remember him playing, but he had like this gut that hung over his
nice.
He looks like he's like the guy he looks like it makes sense that everybody could time travel now to 1964 and be an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
That's what Sonny Jurgensen looks like.
Yeah, he looks like a guy that smoked 4 packs a day, has a big gut. And I saw him play, but again, like I said, it was at the end of his career. And because you'd hear about him, it was like Sonny Jurgensen. And he's got like that football name, I guess. It sounds like a football name to me anyway. But I saw him like, this guy sucks. But I got to give him some, a break because he was, probably 46, or at least he looked at the time. He was probably 28, just looked 46.
It's funny as I pulled him up on Google Images because I know this name, but I've never truly looked at him. Now that you mentioned the gut, even with old school football uniforms where it is pretty loose up top, you can tell when he's rearing back to throw that the jersey sort of bunches up around the middle.
Go find him in a later picture there, Andy. You got to find
what's the team he played for later in the old school?
He only played for the 32s, as far as I know.
Okay,
I have one picture of him with the Eagles. So
that's right. I think
at least one game that he played with Philadelphia.
But yeah, but if Sonny Jurgensen's in the Hall of Fame, Ken Anderson has to be in the Hall of Fame.
Here, I'll send you a link, Andy.
Okay.
Is he still with? Yeah, he's still with us.
Sonny Jurgensen?
Yeah, he's still alive.
No, what is he, like 105?
Well, he's 86, so
same difference.
See, here's the thing. I don't know about that, Greg, because all this talk is slowly making Sonny Jurgensen my favorite NFL player of all time.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
He's rocking the boiler there.
Look at that. How can you not love that?
That guy drank a beer between quarters, I'll tell you that. Had a cigarette on the sideline, and
that's right.
That's good stuff, man.
Ken Stabler before there was Ken Stabler.
Yeah. I wanted to talk to Sean while we had him here to get his take on what I call the shame of Ohio, which is, of course, the treachery and unsportsmanlike, disgusting acts that have been occurring from one Cincinnati Reds team. Nick Castellanos.
Cardinals, how dare they?
So Castellanos' 2-game suspension was upheld by the league for daring to give
absurd. Really?
Yep. For he gave the Cardinals a shoulder rub and will be suspended.
He showed emotion in a baseball game, and this is the St. Louis Cardinals.
Not just emotion, untoward emotion toward the Cardinals.
Yeah. Untoward.
Mike, shame. You know that you do not show emotion against the St. Louis Cardinals. You just don't do it. It's not baseball the right way.
Mike, fuck the Cardinals, man.
Let's get on the floor on this. I think he's going to have the best rant of all of us. Go ahead.
Well, it's the dumbest sports suspension I can remember, and I tried to come up with, like, I sat there today and thought of some, and couldn't come up with one that makes less sense than this. Because if you watch the video Castellanos runs around. He comes home, slides in, safe, flexes, says, "Let's go," in the pitcher's face. I can't remember the pitcher, which is like legitimately an unsportsmanlike thing to do. It's not a suspension-worthy thing. So then he starts to walk away. He's walking towards the dugout, back to go high five all his teammates. We're up runs. Great job. The incident would be over there, right? It's done. Like nothing more. But instead, Yadier Molina shoves the umpire out of the way. Vulcan nerve pinches him and and then that's when the benches clear. The benches don't clear if Yadier Molina doesn't grab him by the neck. So here's what the message sends. The message is you can throw at a guy intentionally, which the pitcher probably did. Sorry, my dog has a squeaky toy.
Oh, cool.
You can throw at a guy intentionally. That's cool. You can grab a guy by the neck. That's cool. But if you disrespect the St. Louis Cardinals, if you disrespect the game of baseball in front of the St. Louis Cardinals, have a seat for 2 games. It makes no sense.
I mean, honestly, I now just want to see some pitcher pitch an entire game against the Cardinals where he starts openly scratching his crotch, like between pitches, like just completely abandon all sense of class, because this is absurd.
Well, it is entirely. I can't prove this, but it's entirely St. Louis Cardinals hurt feeling horseshit. It's like if that had happened against the Marlins, does he get a 2-game suspension?
We're not even talking about it.
No.
It's been forgotten for however long it's been.
But look, all of the guys named Matt, Quadruple Jesus, and Vintage Doug, they lobbied for this, and they got it.
I think, I don't even know what to think about it. I have to agree, though, if it doesn't take, maybe I'm wrong, maybe we're all wrong about this, but it sure seems to me like Sean's got a point here, that if this takes place against any other team, probably not. We don't even remember it, let alone that we're talking about it today. And they just had the nerve to, I don't even know if you call it disrespecting the game, but they just didn't do it the quote unquote right.
They had the nerve to show emotion in a game against the St. Louis Cardinals, and that is verboten.
Like I said, on the boards, it's the equivalent of walking into a church yelling "Hail Satan" and then beating the hell out of some old lady. To the Cardinals, that's what happened. That's in their minds. That's what happened. It was the same exact thing.
Well, is this Yachty's like retirement tour, or is he? I don't know if this is like a Jeter situation where people are like, pay homage to the great Yachty as he comes to your city, kind of stuff.
No idea, none.
Well, he's not going to get any of that in Cincinnati, because this goes back to like 2008 with us.
Yeah.
The thing that I find most annoying really is the hypocrisy from Major League Baseball and their own ad campaign, which is like, let the kids play. Look at how fun they're having. Here's all these bat flips and stuff. And a guy actually does something with like a little emotion, gets fired up, and they suspend him for 2 games.
Well, you missed the disclaimer at the end of that spot where it really small print, it says except against the Cardinals.
Yeah. If you don't respect the game enough to their liking, you're suspended.
Exactly.
Again,
it could just be a confluence of events, but it sure as hell looks like this is because it was the Cardinals. I mean, it probably isn't, but I think it is.
Guys, I think I just discovered another avenue to look at this from. Have any of us considered how the Bosnians in the stands would have reacted to this?
I hadn't really given it any thought, but I'm sure it's a fact.
Yeah, the St. Louis Bosnian community would have probably just been fine. They've suffered a lot of emotional events over the years. They'll be okay. Yeah, you're completely right. If this isn't the Cardinals, if it's not Yadier Molina behind the plate, like I trust me, as an Angel fan, I love myself Molina brother, Benji, Jose, great members of the 2002 World Champion Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Zeppo Molina.
Yep, but Yachty, come on, dude, like just go away. You're done. You're over. Just politely go away and enjoy your time in the sun.
I think Yachty was mad because Castellanos got plunked and he picks up the ball and like asks the pitcher if he wants the ball back. It's like, hey, clearly you don't have much control with this one.
I mean, that's good though. That's really good.
Legitimately funny thing to do. Like, hey, you want this ball? You're not real good at it. I can get rid of it for you if you want. Like, that's funny. And I think Yachty was still hurting by the time he came around.
They need to get rid of these. I mean, yeah, there are certain unwritten rules in baseball, but some of this stuff is just nonsense.
I mean, like if he had made contact with an official or through a swing or something to where it's like the bare minimum, the line has been crossed here. It's like that's a suspension. But him just being charismatic and flavorful and inciting a bit of rivalry is really actually extremely beneficial to a sport that Rob Manfred is trying desperately to run into the ground. And with stuff like this, where it's just it feels kind of like when the NFL began banning end zone celebration kind of stuff. It's not as big of a gesture as that, but it's the same kind of sentiment where essentially, if you would like to bring your emotions and your zeal and fire to the game, you have to do it in a way that is completely contextual and only permitted under the right circumstances, none of which involve going against the greatest catcher to ever play the game of baseball.
God forbid the game of baseball be exciting or entertaining.
Right, because it's on like 3 different levels. Like,
we all want to watch a spreadsheet come to life these days. So yeah, by all means, let's keep it like that.
I would have been fine if Molina got suspended too. It's the fact that the incident doesn't happen without Molina. So how do you suspend Castellanos but not Molina? It defies logic on like 3 different levels that it's just makes it so annoying. I thought for sure they were going to drop the suspension or maybe 1 game, but that it being 2, it's just like, who's making decisions? Is that like a Joe Torre thing because he played in St. Louis and he's just like
probably
lifetime infected with
you got Torre, who was the bulk of his career was spent in St. Louis, and then he managed the Yankees. So we're probably not getting a lot of, hey, let's loosen up and let the guys play out of this guy.
Well, the official explanation is that the MLB says, quote, his aggressive actions, he's suspended for 2 games for his aggressive actions and for instigating a benches clearing incident. So it's kind of this.
Which he didn't instigate. I would argue Yachty or Molina grabbing him from behind by the neck while shoving an umpire out of the way was instigating.
How do you get away with shoving an umpire anyway?
So I don't know.
Because you're Yachty or Molina.
You watch any game really at any level, probably all the way down to Little League. If you touch the umpire, you're gone. That's it. There's no question. There's no nothing. That's it. Run out and point a finger and accidentally like touch his chest. It's like, that's it. You're gone. But
there's always like leeway. Brett Favre. Brett Favre, he was buddies and chums with every official he ever played with, and is the greatest old boy that ever played a game.
But that's it's in baseball. It's different. It's like if you touch an umpire, that's pretty. I mean, that's it.
But that all depends. But it depends on the umpire. There's plenty of umpires.
Depends on the umpire. Depends on the player.
I don't know. I
think there's an unspoken sense of umpires too when they're having a shitty day too. I don't know. Sean, maybe you can chime in if that umpire was having a pretty shit day altogether. Because sometimes I've noticed when an umpire's having an awful zone or made a couple blatantly wrong calls, generally they wait for somebody to just point it out and then they trigger because they're like, how dare you point out that I'm sucking today? You're gone. I don't know.
Well, I don't recall the umpire's performance that day other than that.
But you just described the entire career of Angel Hernandez, Andy, so there's that.
I can't, man.
Still, again, if there's an umpire that everyone collectively knows is terrible at his job, how does he still maintain to have his job? Like every single person that knows a ball from a strike in baseball knows that Angel Hernandez is a terrible umpire. So yet here we are in the year 2021 with Angel Hernandez still being employed on an active basis.
I could be okay with him being a bad umpire if he were a fun umpire, like if he were a guy that said, I'm not the greatest at this, but we're going to have a good time anyway, and I'm going to call it fair both ways. But he's not. He's super sensitive. if you dare question anything he does, and he gives you this glare, and it's like, that the next thing you say is going to get your run from the game. So, but those two things, he's terrible at it, and he has a horrible attitude. Why does he have a job in Major League Baseball? Other than, well, I guess the union, I suppose, but other than that, I can't think of a good reason.
That's mainly why. I mean,
fair enough.
We know Joe West. We know, I think Wegner is his name. There's a few others that don't come to mind immediately, but there's the usual suspects where you're watching a game and it's like, fuck, this guy's calling the game. You got to think that I would love to see like some pros scouting reports that I'm sure pitchers reference, where essentially they say, hey, this guy's zone is routinely this weird oblong 8-sided shape. And it looks like the old GAC logo where it's just like a big splatter. That's the strike zone you're working with today. Good luck. Just kind of hurl it in the proximity of the GAC splatter.
Yeah, just fucking throw it and see what happens.
Yeah, you know who the best umpire in baseball is? Me neither.
Yeah,
never heard of him.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of goes with officials in any sport, though, right? Like if you know someone's name, it's usually not for a good reason.
Who was the NHL guy that everybody hated? It was, I think, Don Kaharski or something like that. Am I getting his name right?
Yeah, have another donut, Kaharski.
Yeah, that guy. Now, and you guys are way bigger hockey fans than I am. I mean, I know enough, but when I know the guy's name, it's like, okay, he's probably not very good.
There is only one NHL referee that I know by name that is good because he's fun. Is Wes McCauley. Whenever he makes a play call, like he's very dramatic when it's a reviewed goal. We reviewed the play and the call on the ice stands. We have a good goal. And like,
is he the guy that's like 2 minutes for fighting?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Every other NHL ref that I know their name is bad.
If you know their name, it's usually not for a good reason.
Right.
It's usually for a bad reason. All right. Anyway,
while we were on the Reds, because I saw you tweet about this the other day, Sean. The the Reds alternate uniform. You're not a fan?
Just the one with the script on it, the red script. It's growing on me, but for I think over 100 years they were a team that just had the chess logo. That was just kind of their thing. So to wear a script at home was just sort of like,
it looks weird. It looks like if the Yankees went out wearing a jersey with script Yankees. Like, that's not who you are as a team.
Yeah, and it's I just had to get used to it because it's kind of like crossing a threshold. It's like, okay, I guess we're just going to do this now. Mm-hmm. Before they did it, it was always sort of like, sacred. That was the one consistent, through all their uniforms. And they've had a lot, but they've always had the Sea Reds logo on the chest.
And as a Cincinnati, a person of Cincinnati, what do you anticipate when we get around to it? What would you consider a uniform that connects with the city of Cincinnati?
Oh,
for this Connect uniforms? What
you
color
mean
will that
the
one be?
Number font looks like Great American Ballpark mixed with the claws of a Mr. Redlegs.
Yeah, like we get the Red Sox going yellow. Will the Reds go green or blue?
Oh, okay. I have no idea.
You could honestly, you probably get away with the navy blue and brown and kind of gold and kind of do a Skyline Chili thing.
I would buy and wear a Skyline Chili Reds jersey.
Really?
Oh, you want to know what would be amazing? The Reds just come out with black and orange tiger striped uniforms, and they're just going to be like, people like the Bengals helmets. I don't know.
We're the Red Tigers.
We're the, like, I just want zero Nike speak involved in it. I just want them to come out like, we didn't know what to do for the stupid City Connect thing. So people liked the Bengals helmets, and they're in the same city, so we figured we'd do that.
I want a team to do the Homer Simpson and the Frank Grimes episode where he has to redesign the new power plant, and he just and he goes, and I think these racing stripes are pretty sharp. Like, he doesn't have a reason for them. He just put them there. And I want a team so bad to come out with the new uniforms and they'd just be like, "Yeah, we thought these stripes here looked pretty good."
Yeah.
The closest we've gotten is the brown remains unchanged from the Browns from a few years ago, right?
Yeah. The orange is now brighter to represent the passion of the dog pound.
Didn't the Chargers do a thing where they just said we did this just because it looks cool, like as a shot at the Rams?
Sort of.
Well,
no, they didn't say we did it because we liked it. They said we didn't need all this technical speak. We just did it because Chargers, and it's like, all right.
Well, they started off with like the ratio of the bolt is perfectly designed. They're like, nah, that's stupid. It's just here.
Yeah, I don't think they really give you words. They just kind of put them out.
Yeah.
While trying to take a shot at the Rams, and it's like, well, look who's selling more jerseys, you jackholes.
Yeah, but but Zach, they're not good jerseys, are they?
I didn't say they were. That's why I still own my throwback. And I refuse to buy this.
For the Cincinnati Reds jerseys for the City Series, whatever crap, I think that
the Nike City Connect series.
Nike City, excuse me. Yeah. Greg, if you don't mind sharing, there you go. I think if they made it like based off of the Grippo's barbecue potato chips.
Hell yeah!
I think we'd be really onto something here.
I've never had those. Are those good?
Oh, dude, they're fucking amazing.
I love them. If I
don't think we can't get them in this part of Ohio. I'm bummed by this.
If I buy some, I will eat the entire thing. I'm talking like big family size bag.
Wow.
Yeah,
they're good. That way, I'm going to have to grab some.
They are like
you get them in Illinois too, Andy?
Dust. They're the best.
No, I actually had a friend of mine who lives. I think he just recently moved to Cincinnati. He came to visit me here in Central Illinois and brought me and my wife a giant bag of Grippos, and they were fucking delicious. We killed them. They were good chips. And at first I was confused. I was like, why the hell would he bring us just a bag of potato chips? You know, like what a weird thing to bring. Totally worth it. You know, like it's a quality product, and it's got a little bit of a kick to it, but it's almost like, I don't know. It's hard to describe. Very, very delicious though.
They're sweet. They got a ton of dust on them. They are
yes.
Like, yeah, they're good.
Your fingers will be like rusty by the time you're done eating.
See, we up here, I don't know, Sean, do you guys get Ballreich's potato chips down in Cincinnati? I don't know if they go that far south.
Yeah, not familiar.
Okay, because that's definitely a Northwest Ohio thing. A Ballreich's, they're like the thing around here. I've had people I've got relatives all over the country like, hey, if you come to visit, bring me some Ballreich's because they're just they like them that much. Yeah,
it's interesting. I like their packaging. It's kind of interesting, kind of old school.
Oh, Ballreich's?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a striped bag, I think, with like white with Ballreich's on the front of it. Yeah,
this checkout here with the
these are our claim to fame here. They're really good. They're greasy, but they're really good.
I appreciate that packaging. Just no bullshit. Just straight up. Hey, you want 1 pound of potato chips? Yep. Here you go.
The Mesquite barbecue are the best. They're really, really good.
This kind of looks like the Bengals alternates here with the white stripes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
Any more Ohio-centric thoughts for us, Sean?
Well, I do have to jump off, but I'll leave you guys. I'll say that I'll give the Bengals a grade.
Okay.
And I'm going to give it a 92. Just because I think the pants stripe could have been a little better considered, and that leaves a lot to be desired. But they corrected all the mistakes. They took the good stuff from the uniforms, the 04 uniforms, kind of used the 80s stuff as a base. They sort of look like themselves again. I won't be embarrassed to wear the jersey anymore, and I'm pretty happy.
Bravo.
All right.
Very good.
Thanks again for joining us, man. This is awesome as always.
We'll see you in 2029.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll see you then.
All right. See you.
Thanks, Sean McCarthy. That was Sean McCarthy. He's got a design website or Twitter or something. As soon as he's going to mention that, I think he said he was going to send it to us as far as what his website is.
I know I know he does like custom hats for.
If you follow him on Twitter, either his regular account or his sports account, He always tweets out his hat designs that he makes, and they're stellar.
Yeah.
Like if he ever got to a team that was one of mine, I would buy it in an instant. He makes great designs.
Yeah,
they're really good.
Yeah, he's listed. I've got him. We sent him a mention in our Twitter feed that he was going to be on tonight, and I have his Twitter handle on there. So if you're interested, go there. You can look and see what he's all about.
Yeah, I think he's got a dribble page. He's got an Instagram with. But I think if you look up, if you just Google McCarthy the Magician, he's got a few designs and stuff you can find online. I think he's got a store, but yeah, his stuff is really, really good. The guy is an excellent
tricks too.
Does he really?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
No. Well, guys, while we're still talking about sports and design, we do have the Olympics coming up later this summer, and I don't know if you've seen the U.S. and Canadian Olympic ceremony uniforms.
Oh no.
That have been released.
I think I saw some pictures.
I haven't seen any of these. And
let's start with the United States.
The way that Zach's going, it makes me scared about all
so
this.
The United States has been designed by our Commander-in-Chief Ralph Lauren.
Oh my God!
As Ralph Lauren's had the U.S. contract since 2008, and they've been making things that are supposed to represent the American way and our values and things like that. But
like
if yes, very much a lot of white pants and polo shirts. If we can find the picture, there you go.
Well,
what?
Wow.
Okay. So the United States is being represented at the Olympics by members of a yacht club?
Yes. As a matter of fact, yes.
Oh my God! In Canada,
are they going?
No.
Are they going to a? Are they going to a northeastern country club? Like
these guys look like when my friend Steve used to have a boat up on the lake, and it was a bunch of guys like us. We'll be drinking, and these clowns would like rolling, and everybody just like, man, we just want to go kick their fucking asses. That's what that's what these guys are, because they were all like, "Hi ho, everyone!" And
they look like they're going to a Yale homecoming game.
Right? Exactly.
That screams a lot of my dad. I think John Oliver said it last night of I'll be very rich when my dad dies.
Yeah, they scream, "Do you know who my father is?"
Right.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, okay, so these we can agree these look
at my trust fund.
Yeah, just pretentious. But yeah, so Zach, can you verify these? Are these Canada ones legit?
First, click on the ones that I sent in the chat because these are the opening ceremony uniforms. They're different. They're both of them aren't great, but this is. Okay. We're gonna close with the other one.
Okay, because
I kind of dig that jacket.
Oh,
yeah, it's kind of like a pleather, I think. Sort of.
Yeah.
Give it a minute.
Hey, I kind of like that jacket. That's not too bad.
I wear that.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Andy, pull up the closing ceremony uniform, please.
What?
Oh, get the back too, because this is
what happened.
What?
It's the least with the next, man.
Oh my God! My Hudson Bay found the old drawings of the Maple Leafs graffiti uniforms and said, "Yeah, we could do that."
The idea is. It's a twist on the Canadian tuxedo with the denim jacket, right? And then Tokyo is famous for its street art.
Is it?
Oh my! This is
no. Okay, legit. Okay, no, I have to legitimately ask this: are they? When I think of Tokyo, I think of Godzilla, and I think of like 80s neon. Like I don't think of Tokyo, great street art. Like, am I just not aware? Is this anything else that any of you three have heard?
No, I think Tokyo. I think like you, Godzilla. The second thing I think of is like all sorts of cool tech that you can go buy in stores or whatever.
Well, like the TV watch that Reggie White was going on about, right?
Yeah, right. And the last thing I think of is like tiny bars and tiny hotel rooms and tiny because it's so fucking crowded they don't have any room to put anything. That's what I think of.
The Team Canada website says that Tokyo is known for its street art and fashion.
No, it's not.
We paid tribute to this in the most must-have piece in this collection, the Forever Cool jean jacket. The graffiti graphic and unexpected patch placements capture a youthful and celebratory feel.
No, it looks like a punk rock skater dude.
Okay, I can see the people who designed this being like, "Oh, these are going to be so sought after." I don't see this being a hit. Like,
what? Canada's not very punk rock. Is that what you're saying, Mike?
well, I mean, I don't know. There are. I'm not. Jesus.
Mike's caught. Mike doesn't know what to do.
No, just the fucking Jared. No, like it just doesn't work. Like when I think of Canadian, like Canada's had some really stellar Olympic uniforms in the past, and the opening ceremony jacket that we saw earlier, I thought looks pretty cool. But this,
by the way, on that opening ceremony jacket, there are 13 stripes in the maple leaf to represent the unity of Canada's 10 provinces and 3 territories.
Wonderful. Anyway,
it's not for and counts those stripes. They like, well, what the fuck? 13 stripes. I wonder what that means. Nobody's doing that.
Is that for each Leafs first round playoff loss? They have
fuck all of you.
See, I'm not even doing it anymore. I'm not even. It's
okay, Bears fan. All right. So,
too far. By the way, I want to briefly interject. I just love that between Mike and Greg, the first thing when you think of Tokyo, one of the greatest, like most, the first thing you think of is the giant lizard that destroys it routinely.
Godzilla's awesome. I don't know.
I mean, but it's awesome. But I just feel like there's got to be some tourists that have gone to Tokyo and like waited at the edge of the water for like, where's Godzilla at?
I can't wait till like the Brazilian national team walks in like in lizard suits because we're celebrating Godzilla or something.
Yeah, but no, like this jacket just doesn't. Okay, this jacket is trying too hard. Is the best way I can describe it.
That's why I pulled the Joker up, because it's just this cringy, just like overly attempting to be edgy, just embarrassment.
Hey, you know what? They're going to charge probably $650 for that damn thing.
Yeah, I mean, which.
Hold on, let me see if they have the prices up.
Which completely defeats the whole homage to a Canadian tuxedo. Because if you're going to do a Canadian tuxedo right, it's like jeans and a denim shirt that you bought at Walmart, you know, on sale, and then some crappy denim jacket you bought at Goodwill. That's a proper Canadian tuxedo.
Got like a rush patch on the back of it.
Yeah, you got a rush patch. Maybe you have a flag patch somewhere, but that's it. Like,
well, technically speaking, oh wait, hold on. The official kit pieces are now available for purchase at Hudson Bay. Let's go. Let's look.
Or
the Hudson Bay Company, here before Christ.
Oh boy. It's actually on sale right now, Mike.
How much?
Original sticker price $198, on sale for $148.50.
Damn,
Canadian.
Off, wasn't I?
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. Really.
I'm still objecting. I'm still objecting on the basis that a proper Canadian denim jacket should be at most $35.
Yeah, go ahead and scroll in there. There's a good sweatshirt that goes with this collection as well.
Let's take a look. Oh my God, that link you sent is just cancer. Jesus.
Yeah, I didn't pick it, man.
All right, so
let's see.
Take a look here.
How much is the pleather jacket? Because that's the one I want.
There you go, $148. There's where's the other code at?
The only saving grace to all of this is that it's the closing ceremony. So like,
it's
will be watching.
It's down towards the. It's a little bit further down. $93.75 for the.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Jacket.
Let's see it from the front. Yeah, maybe.
It's still mostly shit. This looks like something an extra in an 80s music video would wear for like a prog.
Loverboy.
Yeah.
Or
pass.
No, what was that band? They're from Canada. Shit, I'm really gonna date myself. I think they're called Saga. You guys probably never heard of them. They're like when MTV first came out, they were playing this band called Saga all the time. The singer had like a porn mustache. They were hilarious. Do you guys remember these? Adidas made these sweatshirts back in like '88, I think, that had big patches on them that said like Helsinki games. They were all historical. Like from different games over the years. Like I had a black one that had like 3 reds or 3 stripes on it and blah, blah, blah. But that's just kind of reminds me, like they're kind of going for the same idea.
I'm going to buy
all over it.
I'm gonna buy the fanny pack I just linked you guys to.
Oh,
$33.75 and get a fanny pack.
Well, I'm gonna look up these Adidas Olympic.
There's Saga there if you want to get an idea of Saga.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, we got. Yeah, all right, you ready? How about that, huh?
Oh my god, that mustache has another mustache. That's incredible.
Right.
This looks like a
and the dude in the video, he wore this like I don't know, white what's that shit called? I can't think of the name of it now. Spandex. White spandex, like I don't know what it was. You just have to see it to believe it. It was amazing. It was cheesy and funny back then in the 80s.
This guy looks right here looks like it's the final mugshot on an Unsolved Mysteries episode where it's like authorities are looking for
this man.
Yeah. He's believed to be armed and dangerous.
Goodness gracious!
That's what I'm talking about. Let me try to find the link.
Why is this flag sideways? By the way, I feel like that's not kosher.
I have no idea. I do know that Canadian flag law is actually very strict, so that might be a violation.
Well, that's the flag design. It's not a flag.
Well,
I don't know why they turned it into
the nation
Austria.
Here, I'm going to throw up my.
Okay, I'm waiting for it.
Let me see here.
They don't lay claim to every design with a maple leaf on it, do they?
Well, no, I just remember. What the fuck is that?
I had one of those, guys. I had one of those.
Why?
I mean, I could see that.
What country is that?
It's not. It was just an Adidas, Adidas Olympics sweatshirt.
Oh my!
Honestly, you got to remember the era. That was in the 80s, so it was not as garish as it seems now. But yeah, I had one of those. I loved it.
Oh man, there's some really weird ass ones. Oh my god.
Are you looking up the rest of the other ones?
There's a few that are like I found one here for the UK.
For this year?
No. This is from the 80s. It's a little out there.
Which I'm surprised that we're still actually going to do the Olympics this year, but hey, fine.
So,
what are they again?
Tokyo.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
So I don't know what country this is for, but I assume it's another design from the same kind of run.
Yeah, I don't think that's an Adidas one. Or is it Adidas?
It says Adidas right there.
Before there. Oh, does it?
Yeah, right
there.
The
opera one was the one I showed you. I don't remember seeing that.
There's another one from so very loud, very 80s.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay.
I wish I still had that thing. That would. I guess I'm looks at that now. I bet people.
Speaking of world things, and I have zero input on this really, but I feel like we should talk about it. Maybe you guys have something to say about it. There's all this shit being talked about the Super League, soccer in Europe. Can anyone explain briefly?
Yes, I do. I thought about this all day because I know it's something I wanted to talk about, and I was trying to think, how do I get you guys to understand the concept here? So basically, here's what it is.
Hold on. Let me just. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to explain.
2.5, so I can run upstairs real quick.
2.5 on the NHL jersey timer.
All right.
So let me just put this. I'll give you 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Let me just pull this up here, and
you got to throw it up. All right, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Here's a countdown, and Zach, go.
Okay, so basically, right now there's 12 European teams, like the big clubs in Europe. 6 from England, including Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, as well as AC Milan, Real Madrid, Barcelona, that are announced that they're forming this Super League. And basically, the way to equate this to American sports is the best idea I could think of was American college football. Imagine a scenario where Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Alabama, LSU, Oklahoma, Texas, USC, Oregon, just as examples, they all break away to form their own major college super conference. But they still also want to maintain their allegiances to the conferences that they came from. But they say, hey, we're going to make the super conference. We're going to play these huge games between Ohio State and Alabama and Texas and Michigan on Wednesdays. But we'll still come back and, Ohio State can play Iowa on Saturday if you want them to. And and then we're going to make a ton of money, get a bunch of ratings, but we get to keep all the money, and you, the lowly other schools, don't get to keep anything. And everyone only pays attention to us anyway, so it's not our fault if the rest of the league or the conference dies on the vine behind us, but we're going to make a ton of money over here doing our thing. So that's kind of what the problem is here, where you have a bunch of these Russian oligarchs and American capitalists that have come in to own all these major European legacy franchises that are saying, we want to just make the most money. This is a way for us to make insane amounts of money, because they've already separated themselves as this elite upper class of world soccer that, you know, no team can break the way into, because they just won't have the money to pay for the players, or in the best players want to go to those teams because those teams are on the biggest stages and also pay the most money. And so now you get the overarching things like FIFA and UEFA that are threatening to ban the players that are on these teams from participating in international competitions. They're threatening to kick out 3 of the teams from the Champions League this weekend, or not this weekend, but this next upcoming week. Basically, it's these big money teams trying to form their own Super League, take the profits for themselves. Whatever happens to the other teams that are part of the domestic leagues be damned, and they're threatening to kill international soccer at its height.
Well done. Yeah,
that was my best to kind of speed through it.
You know, I read that a lot today too, about the college football comparisons,
because that's really the only American comparison you can make. Because some people are trying to say like, what if the Giants and the Cowboys, and it's not the same thing,
right? Yeah, well, that makes, like, to read it like at a glance, like, a part of me says, well, why not? You know, I mean, there's a lot of, I feel like when it comes to college football, we've kind of mentioned this before a little bit, but how really terribly upsetting would it be if there was just a constantly changing single conference that essentially had its own thing and just completely existed outside of everyone else because they just want to beat up on each other and not give any money to anyone else. You could arrange some sort of revenue sharing from that, but this is obviously a completely different animal, to where they're going to just exist on their own separately and keep the money for themselves. But aren't, like, these other, like, especially FIFA, aren't these organizations already just rife with corruption and scandal anyway?
Yeah, I think the difference in the two examples is the college football example that has been talked about before. That's also a way to end up paying those players. So that's something that, like, I think a lot of us are a little bit more amenable to.
Okay.
Where it's like, you know, the college football players going from not being paid at all to being paid if they made this extra league. I think that's okay. But this is an example. But these teams that are trying to break away, they're also trying to have it both ways. They're still saying, no, we're still going to be part of the domestic league that we've, you know, committed ourselves to, but we also want to make this extra money on the side. And the rest of the leagues are like, you guys are already separated from everybody else pretty much by the amount of money you already make. So all you're going to do is price out all these little, because the thing to remember too, and why college football is a better example than a lot of other things. Imagine if Ohio State and Alabama were playing on Wednesday, and LSU was playing Texas, and USC was playing Penn State, all on a Wednesday. And then you go to the Saturday games, and it's like, well, Iowa's also going to play Minnesota. And it's like, okay, well, who the hell cares? Like, we're watching the big games on Wednesday and not going to give a damn about what's going on Saturday.
But
that's kind of what's going on here too.
But that's debatable. I feel like, you know, in America, one thing that has been relatively proven is that if there's football on, people will watch it, and they'll watch it more than every other major sport. You know, so I mean, I feel like you could have the shittiest football on Saturdays after the greatest football on Wednesdays, and people will still tune in and watch it, give it a fuckload of ratings.
Not only that, but with all the games that you can watch in college football now, somebody's watching, or they wouldn't be putting them on. So, but I get what you're saying, though. I mean, it would be like, if you we kind of already have it in college football, not fully, but it's sort of there with what do they call it, the Big Five or whatever, the
Power Five, the
Power Five. And you know, if you're I don't know, who was the team last year that had a really great season, but they just said, "Fuck you, we're not going to let you be a part of this." I can't remember who it was now. They're like undefeated or something. I don't remember.
Might have been Stanford. Stanford
would have been in the Power Five. It was
I'm going to look up the.
Yeah. Anyway. and they knew that no matter what, they were not going to get in. And I think they could have maybe made a decent showing. I don't know, but
Texas A&M?
No, it was a
Oklahoma
mid-major school.
Are you talking about BYU or Coastal Carolina?
Well, BYU and Coastal, yeah, but Coastal especially because I think they were undefeated. Let's be honest about it. If they had made the playoff, whoever they played would have beat them 80-3, probably.
Right. But the other difference too is like when Manchester United or Liverpool or whoever go to the Champions League, because that's the other thing to keep in mind here. There is already technically a Super League format in the Champions League where the top 3 or 4 teams from every major European league get to go to the Champions League the next season and get that extra money for a little bit for themselves, but that money also gets funneled back into the domestic league, which then also trickles down to the smaller clubs that don't get some of that money and can help build up the sport in the country. So there is already that in place. This is just a way to say like, well, we big clubs, we don't want to participate in a playoff format. We want to just have this league and have the money and keep it all to ourselves. And, but we also want to do the thing over here to do good by you guys, but we still want to make untold millions and billions of dollars on our own that we don't have to share with anybody. And so the other leagues are kind of like, well, what happens when all that money's going towards you? That's like there's not an infinite supply of money. Some of it's gonna get siphoned away from the leagues in each respective country. I
don't know how it works, but let's say that you're a Manchester United fan, okay? And I'm just gonna I have no idea what I'm talking about, so I'm just gonna use this as an example. It's probably
I will try to guide you.
But let's say that they're playing 5 like regular league games in Manchester, and they're also playing 5. What do they call it? Super League or whatever it is.
Yeah.
In Manchester, and that's that for a total of 10. What used to be it was 7. I'm just making these numbers up, but no one. If my option is to go say, all right, the Indians are playing the AAA Salt Lake City Bees, I can go see that with my money, same price, or I can go watch the Indians play the Boston Red Sox or the Dodgers. Where do you think I'm going?
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It's going to, it will hurt the smaller teams because why would you want to go watch the Buckeyes play Toledo when you can go watch them play Michigan every week?
And the other thing is that while this had been a rumor of sorts for a while, no one ever thought they would actually do it. And then it seemingly just kind of happened overnight. Like the rumor popped up of like, oh, these teams are talking about it again. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then like later that afternoon, it's like, oh no, we're actually doing it this time. And so it all kind of happened so quickly because if you would have asked me about this, like, I didn't even know it was happening until Sunday morning when I was watching the Premier League coverage on Sunday morning. And they're like, yeah, this is actually going to happen now. And it's like, wait, what? Like I pay soccer enough attention to know if something seismic like this was going to happen, and it didn't even cross my radar until Sunday morning.
Wow.
So it kind of came out of the blue, and I think that's what's also turning a lot of people off on this. And the fact that like they're still in the middle of the season. So it's kind of like I said, they're at the semifinals of the Champions League, and 3 of the 4 teams that are in the semifinals have announced that they're going to be part of this new league. And so the European Confederation is like, we're going to kick these guys. Like, we're going to have a discussion this week, and we're probably going to kick them out of the semifinals by the end of the week, leaving only one team left. And that's Paris Saint-Germain, who is one of the top clubs in Europe and who presumably would also get an invite into the Super League.
Didn't they turn it down, though? I heard that Paris Saint-Germain turned it down.
I haven't read up. That might be true. Because right now there's only 12 teams that have announced that they're going to go, but they want to get up to 16 is the number that they want.
So from what I hear, the 12 teams that are confirmed are in England, Italy, and Spain. But I had heard that Paris Saint-Germain, and then also a club in Germany whose name I forget who, but Paris Saint-Germain and some German club were both invited, and they both turned it down.
With all these, I mean, that could be because the other thing is like, if those teams go do that, then it would be like the Champions League would be Paris Saint-Germain's to lose every year because they would be the best of what's left of the eligible teams for that. So I'm trying to look up a little bit here.
Yeah, see, the German club, my understanding is that they actually caught a lot of people by surprise because they went to the Polish soccer team and they beat the shit out of them.
They annexed the Polish team.
They absorbed the Polish club. Caught the entire European soccer off guard, and now a lot of people are looking to America to see if there's going to be any reaction.
To Belgium and France next, Mike.
Yeah, there are definitely a few, like the notable teams that aren't involved in this. Bayern Munich, which is again one of the top global clubs in the world, the best club in Germany every year. Borussia Dortmund, who's the number 2 team in Germany almost every year. Paris Saint-Germain, as well as what's technically the number 3 team in Spain, but they win the Europa League almost every year in Sevilla. But you're already seeing protests. Like today at Liverpool was one of the teams that said they were going to go, and they were playing a match against Leeds United today. So a bunch of fans went outside Liverpool Stadium to protest. And Leeds, the players for Leeds, all were wearing T-shirts that said Champions. They said Champions League on it, which is again the competition already exists, and earn it rather than like buying your way into this super competition. The Champions League is a way to earn your way to that level every year. And if this league goes away, or if this league does indeed form and happen, then the Champions League is kind of a moot point. Like there's no reason to do it. And the Champions League will cease to be important in terms of European sports.
Wow.
Or world sports at that level. It is kind of amazing to me, like because for this to even cross our desk over here, like I thought I was going to be the one that had to bring it up, but it is a seismic thing in terms of world sports. Like this is as big of a money play as you could possibly have in the world of professional sports on a global scale. And if it does work, I wouldn't be surprised if that college talk starts to amp back up again, because you're not going to see any version of this in the American pro sports leagues, just because there isn't a way to do it. There's no reason to. It's like, do the New York Giants and Dallas Cowboys really say, man, we're tired of the Arizona Cardinals and Jacksonville Jaguars budging in on our profit margins? Like they don't really care.
On our London games every year.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, that's what the Jacksonville Jaguars are there for, so the New York Giants don't have to go to London.
Right. But it's I was taken aback by it. It is, if it indeed does go through, it's a seismic thing. As a Manchester United fan, I don't particularly like it. I do like the Champions League structure. I do like I love the Premier League as a unit, as a sporting competition. The Premier League is one of the best competitions to follow in the entire world at any level of any sport. It is so very entertaining, so competitive, and to do this would be to kind of upset the balance of everything. Because the other thing to remember too, and why it's almost a little bit better to compare it to the college football programs, these are all trophies and competitions and teams, clubs that are over 100 years old in most cases. And so you're throwing away history and culture for money. And that's why the fans are mad too, because like I mentioned before, the people that own these big clubs, they're a lot of Russian oligarchs. They are American entrepreneur capitalists. Like the Stan Kroenke owns Arsenal, who's in the league.
The Glazers, the
Glazers own, the Glazers own Man U, and Tampa, the Buccaneers. Fenway Sports Group owns the Red Sox and Liverpool. And so the fans are kind of, this is like the ultimate endpoint of what they feared, with these outside interests coming in and kind of shaping their game in a way for them to just make more money rather than to honor the traditions of the sport and the culture of the sport. And this is something that ultimately kind of is a step towards destroying that and making it a truly soulless marketing.
But that's the thing, though. I guess my question would be, if the fans are perceiving it like that already, does it really have any appeal? If you look at it and you say, okay, this is just clearly a money grab by these teams, Why should we care? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it works over there with soccer and all that, but I'm just saying that if it's being received this poorly by fans, what makes them think it's going to work?
Well, here's the way I would turn it on.
Arrogance.
If I told you that Alabama or Ohio State was going to play Alabama and Texas every week, would that be exciting to you?
No.
You'd rather beat up on Michigan State?
No, what I would like to see, I've said this is, well, yeah, Michigan State's always fun to beat up on. But you know what I would like to see is
turns out Michigan's fun to beat up on these days too.
Yeah, that never gets old. But I guess my point is that Ohio State has a couple. I call them preseason games. I mean, they actually count, but they shouldn't. But throw in, instead of playing like Rice and Army and I don't know, one of the MAC schools, throw a good school in there. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to just eliminate the little guys, but I don't know. You're
right. But in that example too, those teams play Ohio State because they need the money.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you took Ohio State can never play those teams again. And so those teams are left to play each other.
Oh,
right. That's kind of the problem that you're going to deal with here. Cause Northwest Norwich Brighton Town United FC isn't going to be able to pay its bills at the end of the month if they can't play Manchester United or Liverpool. They need
the Manchester United draw.
I mean, right. I think the college game I get most excited about every year outside of Ohio State, Michigan is Toledo, Northern Illinois, because we can't fucking beat those guys no matter what we do. But you take away the money that Northern Illinois gets playing Big Ten schools or Pac-12 or whatever, and Toledo's Big Ten money and all that, and you're basically, it's like, really high-level college football being played in front of 400 people. It's just not the same thing.
And I feel like there's something to be said about the importance of having contrast be obvious in the disparation of talent. Like, it's one thing to the story of Howard Hughes filming Hell's Angels come to mind. He had his planes up in the air, but he was like, these look like model planes. They look like shit because I can't tell how fast they're going because there's no clouds for contrast.
Right.
Essentially with with these giant football factories, you need to have them. It benefits everybody to have them go up against some, whatever, not necessarily, like you said, podunk school, but have a few on their schedule that are just clearly going to be just obliterated by them. But the idea is that it proves that your competition, that you're up for the next level of competition. Because if you have the same, 12 to 16 to 20 teams, all these elite football colleges all beating the shit out of each other for however many games with no interaction whatsoever with the second level, then you get no contrast. You could watch both games and the level of competition is relatively fair. So, yeah, I mean, there's going to be differences in size and speed and in execution. But for the most part, you're going to see it'll kind of look vaguely familiar. Like, oh, yeah, these two teams are good. These two teams are good. But one team is actually going to be the ones that are all going to the NFL. The other level of guys who are just going to go work at Wendy's after they're done with college football.
And, and the thing about the Super League that I do find funny, and there's been plenty of jokes made at, let's say, Tottenham's expense because it's easy. Somebody's still going to finish last in the 16-team thing. And it's like, so that's a team like Tottenham, bless their hearts. They try so hard and they just can't do anything with themselves. But that's a situation of, so you're in this league purely for the paycheck because you were never going to win a goddamn thing in the regular league because you can't, despite your best efforts, you just can't do it.
That's another case. Like Arsenal, for example, isn't particularly lighten things up in the Premier League right now, but Arsenal is a name.
Yeah,
it's a brand.
It's a big name club for sure. They sell jerseys across the world.
So you're going to have essentially then the Rutgers of this Super League,
Sure.
Rutgers to the Big Ten comparison, or who's a terrible team in the Pac-12?
Colorado.
Basically,
Colorado.
The thing with Tottenham is that they're a team that is bad, but they have a lot of history. It's kind of an Arsenal situation where it's not a good team presently, but there is a brand there that is known worldwide.
Oh, yeah, I even know that brand.
And so that's kind of the thing where this whole Super League thing starts falling apart is that people look at it and it's like, well, you've got Tottenham here and you've got Arsenal here. You know, these teams aren't lighting the Premier League up in any way, but they are very merchandisable and recognizable brands. So it kind of takes the piss out of the whole this is a superior level of competition thing, because some of these teams aren't being chosen because they're the best teams. They're being chosen because they are the most merchandisable teams.
There's definitely, like, if this came to pass, there would still be the competition for the top would be stiffer. You know, whether it's Real Madrid, Manchester City, Liverpool, if they got Bayern to opt in, if they got PSG to opt in. And then there would also be basically the top half of the league would all play for the title, and the bottom half of the league would there to be to collect the paycheck.
Yeah, because there is not going to be a promotion regulation system in
no,
this.
It would be a closed system, and that's another thing that makes this a little bit lesser than the rest of European football.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's what they would be paying for too. Is they would pay the price to make this league so that they can never be relegated, or not even not be relegated, because none of these teams are ever going to be relegated in real life anyway. But they take that threat away completely, and all they have to but that also makes sure that they don't have to try. They just get there to collect the paycheck.
You just sit there and the money rakes and
at least now they have to be at least better than like 3 teams, so they have to try at least a little bit to make sure that they don't get knocked down.
The thing is that this has been a long time coming. When the Premier League started up in the 90s, there was talk that it was going to be a closed system. Like the people who made the Premier League, when those teams split away from the Football League.
It's a very confusing thing where there is a Football League 1, which you would think, oh, that's the first division, right?
No, it's the second division.
no, that's actually the third division, because now we have the championship.
Oh,
the championship is in the top league. No, the championship is actually the second division. So now we have the Premier League, which is the top division.
But when the Premier League split away, there was talk that they wanted it to be a closed system. They didn't want any promotion or relegation, and the only reason it didn't go through was because there was enough of a blowback both from fans and the rest of the football establishment in England, where they wouldn't be able to get away with it without allowing promotion regulation. But they desperately wanted to get away from that. They just couldn't, and it seems like this is finally that idea brought full circle, where they're just going to go for it and say fuck you anyway.
Yeah, and Dennis brings up the point. Like, there are teams that in the Premier League now that they come up, they get their paycheck for the year and they get sent back down because they're just not good enough. But in this system, like, who would choose to leave their league, specifically to not play in their league that year, just to collect the money and then just get back down? Like, and it's all a money play where you have to convince your fans, well, we're going up here to get the money so that we can come back and win the domestic league. And it's like, that's not the way to do it. That's just not the way that the sport works.
No, that's like Kevin Durant shit there, man.
That's literally just selling your soul for a season to get some cash.
Yeah, exactly.
So then, yes, in a good thing, it's like, oh, well, we could reinvest it in the club. But I'm sure that there would be plenty of teams that are like, no, we just want to go get our paycheck and then come back down and sit on that paycheck for 2 years. So we need another one.
I always say that, I would be fine with a lot of things as long as it meant that the savings would get passed on to the fans type of thing. And that these owners, these clubs, if they go in for a year, they're going to make a ton of money. But if you think it's going to go back into the team, you're crazy.
Well, I mean, it kind of to kind of bring it to something that we've talked about before, ads in North American sports, where I think even Greg, you've said that you'd be fine with North American sports teams wearing ads if it meant the ticket price could be lower. But that's never going to happen. Just like in this case, it's like, oh, well, if the team makes more money, if that means that ticket prices will be lower, then by all means do it. But that's not going to happen.
No, I think that if you could really make it easier to swallow with the ads, if you came out and said, okay, look, the Cleveland Browns this year are going to be sponsored by, Cleveland Clinic. But that money that we're getting from the Cleveland Clinic, we're going to pass on the savings to you. So now there are 20, $15,000, $20 tickets available at every game. People are like, all right, I'm cool with that. They got a little Cleveland Clinic patch on the jersey, but big deal. I'm getting to go to Browns games at the prices I paid back in 1980 or 90 or whatever. But you're right. It'll never happen. And that's the issue I have with it. But I don't know. I mean, I think that out of all the soccer talk here, I think the one thing that we're going to see, if this happens, it sets the precedent. And I think Zach's exactly right. If this happens, college football is going to be soon to follow, because why wouldn't they?
There'd be too much money that they would leave on the table if they did.
Right, and if we've learned anything about college football, they don't leave a dime on the table if it can be taken.
I have no doubt that it'll happen in college football anyway. I mean, we've talked about that for years, right? Like the call for trying to pay these players is just grows louder and louder every single season, and there's like why keep up the pretense and just make it a minor football league at this point? A developmental football league.
Think too that and I mean, I really seriously doubt that, like, say, Trevor Lawrence has played his entire career at Alabama for quote unquote free. But why, they complain about these guys like they leave too soon, or why should Trevor Lawrence come back when his draft stock is this high? He had to go into this season going, God, I hope I don't get hurt. I've got to carry this Lloyd's of London insurance policy and all this, just because if I blow out my knee in game 6 against South Carolina, guess what? I'm done. And that's it. And literally $150 million just disappeared off the table for him. So maybe the point I'm trying to get to is that paying these guys seems like the only fair thing to do, because right now they're giving you everything on the potential of a huge paycheck, which one injury, one bad play, and they don't get. So yeah, it's time to start paying these guys. They're making. You could pay every guy on the Ohio State roster $150,000 a year, and it wouldn't even make a dent in the football budget. Wouldn't even make a dent in it. And we're talking like 100 guys, So come on, it's enough already. Do something. I don't know. I got us way off track there, but you get the point.
Yeah. Well, now is as good a time as any to transition to whether or not the guy that fucks turkeys beat the
the cocaine bear.
Beat the bear that was OD'd on cocaine.
Well, we have a breakaway glorious tournament of victory, a super tournament.
A super tournament of
we do that every few years. We call it the quarter quell or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Goddamn Batman comes back to.
We have enough champions. Well, we have enough champions at this point to have a champions only tournament, like a small one. This will be 8 or 9, right?
This be 9, I think.
But we have one repeat champion, so we actually have just enough 8 to do like a quick 8 rounds, an 8-team 8-entry GTOV Tournament of Champions.
The glorious Tournament of Victory, Tournament of Champions,
something like
victory.
That. We'll name it something more stupid than that, but yeah.
I mean, sure. How's voting for this finale here?
About the same as it's been every round. So, do you guys want to go to the board and find out what happened?
Let's see it.
All right, we're going to crown the 2021 Glorious Tournament of Victory champion. Oh, shoot, I don't have the speakers on the right way. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I hadn't heard it over my microphone. It's a little better that way, actually. It wasn't quite as loud. So we go to Survey Monkey, and we go to Analyze Results. And?
So you haven't looked at these?
No. Oh, my.
We're finding out live.
Yeah, we were finding out live. Well, interesting. Not as close to the match as I thought it would be. So let's get some analysis, boys, and see which way we're going with this.
I think Turkey Fucker is taking it like that's a visceral thing.
We've all been on that from the start, from the second that Andy remarked it, from the second that it was brought up. It just like, no, this is a tournament winner. I like nothing is going to get in the way of this man fucking this turkey on a Sunday fun day.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things to where would I be pleased for my bracket to produce a champion? Sure.
Are you proud though?
No.
Okay.
No. It would be not an honor. It would be an ignominious kind of
disgrace.
Not really a disgrace. It's more of just like this what
do
a
you
world.
hang this banner up in front of the fans, or do you do it quietly over the off season?
I think you put the banner in like a garage and you just don't speak of it, It's like if somebody asks, because it's documented, but you don't it's like, oh, who won in 2021? Oh, yeah. But again, we don't know. I don't know. Maybe Greg's just teasing things here, and the Cocaine Bear went on a run and just blew the turkey fucker out. I don't know. Maybe it was one time too many for the old turkey fucker.
Well, I'll throw a little more information into the mix here. The final score, a 4-point difference between the winner and the loser. So tighter than I think anyone thought it was going to be.
I can't even begin to speculate. I wouldn't be surprised either way, honestly, at this point.
Anybody in the chat want to put their picks in? Let's see. We got you guys, if you want to throw your predictions in real quick before we go on here, you can. Feel free. All right, never mind.
It's now time to play Radio Silence.
Yeah. Right, exactly. So let me get back to the board here. The final score, this one was 15-11. It was close early, and then it kind of pulled away at the end. And without further ado, 21 GTOV Champion. Wait, I got a drum here. Hold on a minute. Where is it?
Oh, we got some responses. We got Jeremy with the turkey effort.
Okay.
Dennis Team Bear. Chaos Blast. Feel like the turkey fucker got this one.
Here we go. Final score of 15-11. Oh, Jesus. A magical run through the tournament. The Legend of Cocaine Bear.
Whoa!
And there is no one more for that than me. 15-11. The Legend of Cocaine Bear is your 2021 GTOV champion.
Oh, that's an upset!
I am stunned.
This is like a 12 seed winning the whole thing. I honest to God, the Legend of Cocaine Bear, I think I picked him 3 days before we did our entries just because I thought it was funny. It was basically a throwaway entry. I didn't plan on him going anywhere. And he's here he is.
This is why you play the game. Ladies and gentlemen.
Guys, the biggest tournament championship upset in the history of the GTOV. I believe
in the championship game, I have to think so.
Yeah. Right?
This is Butler actually hitting that shot against Duke.
Yep, exactly. And then I thought about it, and I'm thinking, okay, if the Legend of Cocaine Bear wins, I wonder if it's because people they like the Walmart turkey fucker, but they don't like him that much. Whereas, okay, he got to the championship, which a lot of people said he's got to get there. But once he was there, maybe they said, yeah, you know what? Not so much on that. I don't know. Let's get some feedback. I'm sure all the guys in the let's see what we got. Recount.
Wow, Andy, how do you feel?
I'm a mixed emotions. I would have preferred the turkey fucker lose to the Thunder Bay Ram. If it could have.
Bastard.
Yeah, full disclosure, I will share the screen.
I mean, it sucks because I've only won the one time. I've been frequently the bridesmaid.
There it is,
not the bride.
It is, right there in front of you.
Yeah, hey, it is too bad. I mean, this is the second year in a row I think I've come behind here in the tournament. But to me, I'll take my Bills legacy here. And just kind of but the thing is, the turkey fucker, it is disgusting, and it is an awful and offensive act of a weird person.
Yeah, yes, it is.
But the thing is, though, I think this may be one of those entries. It'll certainly never be forgotten. That's the main thing. Is that for as memorable, we sometimes will struggle to recall.
Jeremy fucking gets it. The rowing club and the Ram were both robbed.
I do hope the Thunder Bay Ram gets another run someday. The Thunder Bay Ram really won my heart.
He just wanted to say hi.
It was
Mike, honestly, I was pulling for the Ram to win the whole thing. I looked at my board and I'm like, I don't have anything that can win this year. I just don't. I thought John Dillerman was going to be a runaway, and he got beat 2 rounds ago.
I will say this, that if Thunder Bay Ram had won it, I'd be as amazed as you are, Greg, because Thunder Bay Ram was a day of tournament replacement for something else on my list.
Yeah, I remember you as we were going end of the show, you said, I've got breaking news on an entry, and you got
it just popped up on CBC's my homepage, and it was just like it's like Ram in Thunder Bay, Ontario, chases after cyclists to say hello, and I'm like, aw, okay.
I think Andy, was it you that tweeted something about Cocaine Bear? And I saw it. I'm like, oh my god, that's awesome! Like, you've never heard of that?
Something, yeah. I remember sending the link out. I think also the bear was a day of replacement because you were going to have President Bible Gun,
right? Exactly.
And then I claimed President Bible Gun, and you said, okay, well, I guess I'll throw the bear in there.
Yep.
It was like a last minute thing.
Yeah, like the
what
bear,
do you know?
Yeah, and he just took it all the way. Every time he would win, I would be like, this is amazing. And when he got the turkey fucker, I said, there's no way he wins this. There's just no way. I wasn't even planning on it. It was like, no, not going to happen.
Yeah, it was kind of like a play-in, like a team that won the playoff, the MLB playoff or something, and so this went on a tear. Like pretty magical stuff there. And honestly, like it pleases me in a way because this thing is fucking unpredictable, and there's just sometimes no way to know just like where the vote is going to go.
As I said, this is why you play the game, right? This is any given Sunday.
I do think though that this is the most GTOV final of all the GTOVs. You had a bear famous for eating 40 kilos of cocaine, living for 15 minutes, and then dying because the cocaine killed him, obviously. And now his dead body is a tribute to himself. The guy that got in a car and fucked a turkey
on Sunday Fun Day.
On Sunday Fun Day. That it just doesn't GTOV than that. It just doesn't. And maybe that was the lesson to be learned here. I don't know, but yeah.
I got to admit I was feeling a bit down over Thunder Bay Rams defeat, but hearing that the Cocaine Bear put up this upset, this is magical. This is why the glorious tournament of victory is special, folks.
I think that the GTOP at the end of the day, despite all the idiotic fucking things that they do when they vote, at the end of the day, voters love their animals. I just think it's that simple. It's probably
Well, I mean, so did the turkey fucker.
No. I think it says a lot to the institution of Thanksgiving. People are just very defensive of the symbols, and no, I don't know. I think it almost felt like a joke that kind of ran its course, whereas the Cocaine Bear is sort of like a mysterious. There's some more about it because we don't, nobody saw it. There's no footage of it or anything. We just have this sort of myth of this fable of a bear that did an incredible, inhuman amount of cocaine, and went on a tear before ultimately dying. Like,
I would
burn out the fade away.
He did an unbearable amount of cocaine.
All right, let's wrap.
And for some reason, he's wearing a hat that has a giant K on it.
That's for Kentucky, where he is.
Oh, is that for Kentucky? Okay. Yeah. Oh my God! They gave Cocaine Bear a mask so he could comply with COVID protocols.
The dead bear don't want him spreading any disease, I guess. I don't know.
Well, hey, that's the way cookie crumbles, I guess. Hey.
Yeah, so there you go. The Legend of Cocaine Bear out of nowhere. Literally, this is like a directional school playing in like the 68 versus whatever game, getting in, taking it all the way, and beating Duke at the end. It's just amazing.
I've also found a graphic that says Cocaine Bear, Pride of the Bluegrass. Also, apparently, Elizabeth Banks wants to direct a thriller film centered on Cocaine Bear.
That's how it got started. Andy tweeted a thing Elizabeth Banks was going to do a movie.
That's right.
And I said, I'm like, this has got to be a joke, right?
That's
and
right.
I looked it up and I said, oh my God, this Cocaine Bear is hilarious. And he's like, you've never heard of that? I said, no, I never had. And I threw him down on I had a list of like 14 entries. He was there. Was it him that I threw in to replace I think it was. Yeah. The President Bible, another contender that didn't get nearly as far in the tournament as he should have.
Well, that was due to the random
draw.
Yeah, that kind of screwed a lot of stuff up. So, but I think next year we'll just go back to regular seedings and do it traditionally.
Yeah, because we had too many. I can't even blame the listeners for this year because they did a pretty solid job.
Considering what they were given, for sure. Like, there were some tough early matchups that are just like, Jesus, these are like blue ribbon matchups here, getting thrown away way too early in the tournaments.
We will put it back to the normal seating next year and let them fuck it up all over again.
I had a thought, by the way, just come to mind. So we discussed like potentially a draft kind of thing. here, maybe in a couple of weeks or something like that, we could kind of get the wheels going for it. We mentioned doing a soda draft. We also mentioned doing like a logo draft of some kind. I was thinking maybe we could do a like soda can draft.
Okay.
Might be an interesting idea, kind of a best of both worlds. I don't know if that's a little bit too vague or something. Or like a soda logo. I don't know if that would be anything enticing at all for you find people.
They dig around through history to find, because there's not that many out there now. You've got
and that's one of those things that like whoever drafts first and you pick Coke, it's like, okay, well, now what?
Yeah.
I'm just pondering.
I had a sports related one I was trying to think of, or thinking of earlier, and I can't remember what it was now. It was like an all-time NFL draft. I had a whole if I can find it, I wrote it down somewhere. It was a good. It wasn't just like, all right, with the number 1 pick, I take Tom Brady. There was like
well, we could do like a helmet draft. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, there we go. That would be fun. Yeah,
like all-time helmet draft.
Yeah,
kind of cool.
Let's do that.
Okay.
That sounds like fun.
You guys include college too? Sure.
We should probably. Well, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we do college and football, or college and football, college and NFL?
How well?
It would give you a wider selection because
It would give a wider selection, and I guess it would also depend on how deep the team is. Like if, because there's 4 of us, and there's only 32 teams in the NFL, so.
Yeah, good point.
Like, I don't know.
I think Chaos Blast makes a good point here, but I think what we should do, we should open it up to the NFL, the USFL,
all pro leagues only,
or we can do all the pro leagues, the World League, but that we're going to run out pretty quick there too. How about we have college, the USFL,
XFLs,
all of them, CFL, and that's it.
No AAF.
Oh yeah, well the AAF too. But yeah.
So I would say pro leagues only then.
Yeah, pro leagues only, and then
college. Yeah, because college you can go down deep down the roster and find some pretty good helmets.
Yeah, and you would have to make it so like could we pick like 2 from the same team? Like do you pick or would you say like once you pick a helmet from that team's history, that team is eliminated from?
Yes,
that's the way we should go with it.
Yeah. I would say you can't select like Rams 2004 and like Rams 2000 whatever. Like that.
Rowing Club gets a second chance.
I sadly Rowing Club I think was before helmet design. So.
Well, you designers get out there and get to work on a Rowing Club helmet to throw into this thing.
It's not. I like the idea of this. I like the pro like even like all through history, college. Yeah. Like we'd have to kind of organize it a little bit and kind of formally just say which leagues are game.
Right. And if we also have to make I don't know how much of this there is from pro league to pro league, but the idea that I had when we were thinking about including colleges, you couldn't have you couldn't pick the LA Rams and the Colorado State Rams.
Right.
That's the same thing.
Yeah.
A lot of cross-pollination there. We'd have to kind of separate.
Make if you wanted to, you could draft an entire roster of ram horn helmets from different teams.
Well, you'd have Colorado State, you'd have the Rams, you'd have.
Or you could do like Michigan and Delaware.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Technically, Tampa Bay Bandits, Ohio State wear the same uniforms. It's just that the Bandits have logos on the side of the helmets. They're literally the same
logo's enough. I think a logo is enough of a change.
Yeah, but with the jersey and the pants and the stripes and everything else are exactly the same. I don't know.
Well, you're not drafting jerseys and pants.
But yeah. So
that's cool.
A helmet draft sounds like fun.
We'll have the pants draft next year.
The next year we may want to do like hockey, like
jerseys.
Hockey sweater or something, or the crest or something like that. We could think, but anyway, let's focus on helmet draft. Helmet draft sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta put together a big board now, man. This is
when do you want to do research?
When do you want to do this? So we have
when's the NFL draft? Next week?
10 days away from today, I believe.
Right here in my neck of the woods, by the way, guys.
Yeah. The Rams set up a draft house in Malibu for the weekend. So
nice.
Yeah, really rough.
What do you want to say? May 3rd?
Theirs is in Parma. Yeah, that sounds good.
Let's do it 2 weeks from today.
Yeah, the helmet draft.
Okay. Sounds good.
And what was I going to say? Oh, do I still have the little helmet, the draft sound? I can get it again.
Yeah.
What did I do with it?
I don't know.
Make sure I have it here just before.
While we're talking about football, happy retirement to Alex Smith
Yeah.
That's a guy that went through the ringer in his NFL career.
Oh
so.
God, right?
Good to see him. I mean, he came back, played one good season, comeback player of the year, right off to the sunset. That's A-okay in my book.
And getting out before he got hurt again in his career just ends in some, you don't want his career to end with him being like carted off and everyone just agrees, that's it. That guy now he's
carted off, they go, fuck, I forgot the rest of his leg. I have to go back to get it.
Right. I mean, he went on his own terms, healthy and relatively, accomplished. So good for him.
Do we want to say a couple quick words about our Philadelphia Eagles fan guy, the EDP 455?
No.
Okay.
Fuck that guy. That's about as much as I got.
13-year-old girl, huh? That's good.
Good riddance, my friend. Farewell to thee.
Have fun in prison with that, brother.
Off to the shadow realm.
With his internet name, it's like, well, that's
is this a shock to anyone?
I know when you texted that last night, I'm like, well, imagine that.
Yeah, who knew?
Pleasant travels in prison.
Oh man, yeah, that's not. It's really funny how even for like hardened criminals have this code. You don't mess with kids. I mean, you could be in there. You could have killed 8 people. Just like as Richard Pryor used to say, why'd you kill those guys? And he goes, because they was home. You could be that guy, like guys, and it doesn't matter. You mess with a kid like that, and they will fucking destroy you. It's just really odd.
If anybody out there is lost, just either don't look it up, or if you do, just Eagles fan YouTube and sex trafficking will probably find you in the right spot.
Just hearing 13-year-old should be enough. You get the idea.
Yeah,
that's a start. Well, when you're my age though, like 45 is like as far back as I can go. So, before they're too young for me. But 13 is just ridiculous. That's I don't know. But we don't want to get into that. Jesus Christ, what a horrible topic to go out on. Fuck.
We all said no. You kept talking.
This is you, Greg.
What have you done? I do that. I get into something. I try to talk my way out of it. It just gets worse as I go. It's just.
I just like how you like did it all in your head. You're like, yeah, so we did this, and what do you think about that? And oh man, what a terrible thing! What a terrible way to go about.
You guys want to talk about this? No. Ah, man, yeah, it's really bad.
I have a moment. What can I say? Yeah, whatever.
No.
It sucked me into the vortex. I couldn't help it.
No, I got you. Yeah, that happens.
So what are you gonna do? I don't know. But anyway,
we don't have to go out on that. I went to a live professional sporting event.
Yes, you
on
did.
Friday.
Yes.
How was it?
It was odd. Well, one, the Ducks played like garbage, so it's like, oh, this is what we've been missing. That's good. The only thing that was weird was they were kind of pumping in crowd noise, but it didn't feel like it was all the time. It was like sporadic. And when it happened, like there was enough people that like we could still spontaneously cheer. And then like there would be times where it's like, oh, that was a routine save. And then you just hear like the coming from the speakers above the scoreboard. And you're like, huh? Oh, right.
Weird.
How many people were there, do you think?
We can only it was the full amount that they were allowed, which is only 10%. So it was 1,700 people.
Oh wow, that's small for a place that big.
Yes, it's a 17,000 seat arena, so 1,700 people, and they were kind of keeping us on one side of the arena, and only half of the upper deck. The other half was where they put the cardboard cutouts, and then the 2 lower levels were filled to what
were you reasonably comfortable? I don't mean as far as like your seat, but I mean, were you okay with it?
Yeah, I mean, I've had both my vaccinations,
right?
so yeah, and it'd been a week since my shot, so I was more than comfortable. It's just a little weird because the thing that I did notice immediately was like, because there's nobody else here, when I yelled, I know for sure that the players could hear me when I was yelling, which was a little bit different than a normal circumstance.
Well, speaking of vaccines, I got booted to this Wednesday, so I still haven't had my second one yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm not worried about it. I mean, it's they say the first one's pretty good up to like 80%, and I'm not doing anything anyway, so I should be fine. But yeah, they moved me to a Wednesday this week, so I will get it on Wednesday.
Cool.
And see what happens. But yeah, because I saw the Mud Hens were coming back, and I love their park. I really could care fucking less about the baseball being played, but I just love to be there. It's a really nice park.
Yeah, I think I would be okay going outside. Being indoors was still a little odd.
Yeah,
it's like because we can't be near anybody. They weren't selling any concessions
at all.
No
Wow.
concessions being sold. So
you're just really kind of like, I don't know, surreal.
Yeah, the only you could go. There was an area like out back where you could get non-alcoholic beverages, but you couldn't bring them back inside.
Wow.
I don't know what the reasoning is particularly, but that's the rules they made. But I mean, overall, it was just nice to be. The seats we bought were basically like one seat over from where we normally sit at the games, and it was just nice.
Yeah.
Like you get caught up there for a minute where it's like, holy shit, I haven't sat here in 13 months.
I know.
Now I'm back.
It's crazy.
But
I know I really thought about
normalcy.
Going to a Mud Hens game, but I don't even know if they're like, I know that they have a lot of season ticket sales up there, and depending on capacity, they may be sold out already, because I know we're not, I think we're higher than 10%. I think it's like 30 maybe.
Yeah, the outdoor stadiums here are also higher. Like Angel Stadium, I think is 30%, which is about 4,000 or 5,000 people.
Yeah. And whatever the case with baseball, it is so nice hearing actual people at the games again.
Oh yeah, incredibly.
Like I was watching the Dodgers San Diego the other night, and just hearing that San Diego crowd going in April playoff.
Was that Friday night game?
Yeah.
That game is nuts.
Yeah,
that was a wild one.
But it was just so great to hear them cheering, and it changes the whole dynamic of the whole thing, because like last year I couldn't watch. It was just weird. And I don't care, you can pipe in all the crowd noise you want. Doesn't make a difference when you look at out seeing empty stands. It works kind of with football because they can shoot the game in a way where you don't notice it as much, but baseball's not going to fly. But anyway, we got anything else, boys?
I got nothing.
All right. Yeah. Well, then on that note, we will call it a night. Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. Subscribe via Apple Podcast, Spreaker, and no, not Spreaker, Stitcher, and Spotify. That's what I'm looking for. And with that, we will see you all next time.
Later.